Coffee and Kidnappings by Selohtun. Read by Satori Reads. Summary. Does Prison Mike know how to deal with the fact that he's sad and he hasn't seen Eraserhead in a week? No, but he does know how to get the man's attention. Kidnap one of his students! There is no way this can go wrong. Just to say, first of all, this is a 3-chapter fanfiction, so I will be splitting this into 3 different videos. This is chapter 1, and I will post the other 2 parts later. Chapter 1. Izuku thinks that maybe he should be more unsettled. It's not every day that you finally figure out that, yes, the facial hair thing is not, in fact, a coincidence, and yes, the barista at you and your teacher's favorite coffee shop is, in fact, a villain. A pretty infamous one at that. Seeing how he is known to deafen opponents permanently and also flirt with Eraserhead when they fight. Present Mike, the voice villain, and Yamada Hisashi, the barista who Izuku knows really well by now. He's been designated coffee guy for all of first day for a while now, and he knows their orders by heart, carrying them carefully back to campus so he doesn't spill anything. Yamada, it's easier to think of them as 2 people rather than 1, always breaks up when he comes in, already starting on his inevitably gigantic order. Izuku usually orders ahead, but comes a little earlier to chat with Yamada if there's no one around. He also does it to take note, quickly typed on his phone for future reference and to be put into his analysis notebooks. Normally, none of this would really matter. The moment Izuku finally made the connection in his brain, he should have turned around, walked out from the coffee shop, and ran back to Aizawa as fast as he could. But there's a problem, which boils down to this. Aizawa actually likes Yamada. Izuku, who can't mind his own business at the best of times, and certainly not now, figures that friendships maybe don't come easy to his teacher, given that he almost always looks half dead and ready to kill anyone at a moment's notice if they get between him and coffee. He also knows that the Yamada doodles little cats and paw prints on his teacher's cap, and even if he thinks he can hide them, Izuku can see Aizawa smile at his cap when he sees it. Aizawa's order is the only one that changes. Yamada makes him something new almost every week, and is always sickeningly sweet. Izuku, honestly and truly, would feel bad about turning Yamada in, or at least exposing his secret. He's relatively sure Yamada wouldn't hurt him. Then again, Izuku has a habit, a bad one considering where his aspirations lie, of always thinking the best of people when at all possible. He's beginning to regret not saying anything when he gets kidnapped. There's a bag over his head, his hands are tied, and he would probably be having a gigantic panic attack if it weren't for the fact that he can recognize Yamada's voice. He's also pretty sure that Yamada kidnapped him as an excuse to see Eraserhead, which, hey, Izuku understands that he's pretty convenient target, but still. He's a little annoyed that he'll probably miss class if he doesn't get free, like, right now. But there's not much he can do at the moment, and he doesn't feel like testing his theory that Yamada won't hurt him, so he resigns himself to his fate. Kidnapping a kid wasn't exactly high on Mike's priority list, sure, but it was very convenient. He was at the coffee shop, surprisingly easy to grab and tie up, and he's in Eraserhead's class, so really, he can't be blamed for his actions. It's just, well, he hasn't seen Eraser for a week now, and he's only seen Aizawa once. He misses him, as much as he doesn't really want to admit it, so kidnapping Midoriya makes sense on that level. Plus, they haven't spent any substantial time together, so it's as good an excuse as any to write up on a ransom note, email it with a disposable email to Eraser, and wait. Mike wasn't counting on the fact that, apparently, Midoriya doesn't fear death. He expected the kid to be scared, to fight back, to scream, or do something, at least. Instead, he just sort of sits there, and when Mike takes the bag off his head, the kid smiles at him. Bright, and it's almost blinding. Hi there, Yamada. Wait, what? Mike blinks several times in shock. The facial hair is a dead giveaway. Also, did you kidnap me to see Eraser or... Well, yes. I wasn't expecting you to figure out it was me, but, I wrote your teacher a ransom note. Hopefully he'll look at his email soon. Midoriya cocks his hat, frowns for a second, then smiles again. Well, why don't I call him? It's much faster than waiting for him to find a note. Mike can't do much else but nod, and he unties the kid. He can take a kid, no problem, probably. Before grabbing Midoriya's phone and throwing it to him. The kid catches it on instinct and he quickly pulls up his teacher's contact while Mike has a personal crisis in the background. Before Eraser can pick up, Mike asks if the kid wants something to eat. He did kidnap him during lunch break after all. Aizawa knew something was wrong, but he wasn't sure what it was. It prickled under his skin, an uncomfortable sensation that left him on edge. It was lunch break, and normally he'd be asleep by now, but the dread pulling in his gut wouldn't let him, and he resigned himself to worry until he figured out what was really wrong. Before he could gather himself up to go great, he felt his phone buzz in his pocket. An email from someone he'd never heard of, with the subject being Ransom Note. Hi, Eraser. Great. The note itself is clearly from President Mike, seeing as how it uses far too many exclamation points to be written by any rational human being. It's also a little unclear as to what exactly he's demanding, other than the fact that he only wants Aizawa to come in, no one else. Before he can read into it much further, his cell phone rings. He answers on instinct. Hello? Hi, Sensei. I got kidnapped by President Mike. He's making lunch for me. He's what? Where are you, problem child? Aizawa starts to panic because, yes, Midoriya sounds fine. But there's also the possibility that Mike is threatening him, and while President Mike doesn't usually hurt kids, this is one of Aizawa's kids. He doesn't hate Mike, not really, but he wouldn't hesitate to strangle the man if there's a hair out of place on the problem child's head when he gets there. He's making me lunch, and I'm not sure, Sensei. Hold on. There's a rustling sound, and Aizawa can hear Midoriya ask something, and Mike's answered in return. We're at a warehouse in the dog district, and Aizawa hears Mike's voice again in the background. Oh yeah, he told me to tell you not to bring anyone else, or he'll make me deaf. Did he drug you? Why are you so calm? I'll be there as soon as I can, I don't think he drugged me. I'll see you soon, Sensei. With that, the problem child hangs up the phone, leaving Aizawa to sprint towards the main campus gates. You're a pretty good cook, Mr. Yamada. Thanks, kid. Hopefully Eraser will show up soon too. Izuku grins, taking another bite. They finish their lunches, both talking at rapid speeds about anything and everything, until Izuku feels his phone vibrate. Oh, he's here. I'll make us tea. With that, he busies himself with the kettle, getting out cups. As they wait for the water to boil, the door gets kicked in, and Aizawa sprints in, ready to fight. Hi, Sensei. I'm making tea. He waves at his teacher, grabbing tea bags and generally keeping his hands busy. While neither adult is looking, he pulls his phone out and sends a snap to Shinso, and manages to get one of his teachers and the villain and adds it to his story. His phone is buzzing like crazy with text, and he carefully silences it just as the kettle whistles. He pours the water into the cups and brings two over to the small table set up in the warehouse. He's not entirely sure how all the stuff got in here. He's betting it might be secret base for President Mike, seeing as how there appears to be food, and Izuku is pretty sure that there was a first aid kit somewhere, but he's not entirely sure yet. You're mumbling, problem child. Oh, whoops. Anyways, Mike, you wanna tell Sensei why you kidnapped me? Izuku sets the cups down and goes back to the counter to drink his own tea, snickering to himself as he gets ready to record. Guys, he's okay. Sensei's there. The entire class 1A crowds around Ochako, and she holds the phone so more people can see. It's a video of Aizawa and Prison Mike drinking tea. The camera shakes a little, and the class can hear Izuku giggling softly. Let me get this straight. You kidnapped one of my students, left me a ransom note, threatened to defend him because you wanted to see me. Aizawa sounds furious, but it's hard to tell from a video, and Izuku is recording, so Otaka dubbed he's hurt. Well, when you put it like that, it sounds so awful, Eraser. President Mike puts a hand to his chest, sounding offended. Did you drag him? Why is he so calm? Aizawa's voice is sharp, and Ochako can't really see his face too well, but she's sure he's glaring at the villain. I didn't, I swear, I would never drag a kid. You just kidnap one? Well, yes, but I didn't drag him, so that's one point towards me. Aizawa puts his head in his hand, shaking it softly, and Izuku giggles more. Why aren't you afraid, kid? He's right, problem child. He did kidnap you. Izuku giggles even more, much to the adult surprise. Bold of you to assume I feel fear, Sensei. Can I go back to UA now? I don't want to miss class. At his nonchalant voice, Bakugo bursts out laughing, cackling like a madman. Ito looks like he's on the verge of a heart attack, and Shinto is blinking at the video like he can't believe what he's really seeing. The rest of the class is caught between worry for their classmate and holding in their laughter, partially at Izuku's comment and partially at Bakugo's laughter, which is hilarious in and of itself. Oh wait, before we go, can we get a selfie together, Mike? You know what? Sure, kid. I don't think this day could get much weirder. So that was Coffee and Kidnappings by Selohtun. I hope you enjoyed it. This is an awesome fan fiction, and this author has many other fics, which absolutely awesome. I really hope you enjoyed this chapter. There'll be 2 more that I'm gonna be posting in a few days. So that. Don't forget to leave a comment if you liked it, what I should improve on, and just to increase my serotonin levels, because we all need that. I will be adding the link to this chapter and the link to this author in the description, so if you want to look at those, you can look there, and you should 100% check out this author. They're awesome.